start with breaking news, shall we? And the Arsenal striker Eddie Nketiah has turned down the club's latest contract offer. Sky Sports News has been told Nketiah's decision is not motivated by finances, but about playing regular first-team football. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has publicly said he wants Nketiah to stay. Nketiah's current deal is up in the summer. He's free to sign a pre-contract with a foreign club in January. Nketiah has not played in the Premier League this season.
Right then, lads, welcome back to Cossy Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Eddie Nketiah given a new Arsenal contract, and he just said, no, I'm not signing that. I want to move on. I'm not giving you another chance. So Eddie Nketiah, according to Sky Sports, has said doesn't want to stay. Obviously, we're going to be discussing that and more. Gianluca Di Marzio has also come out and said that Dejan Kulusevski, Arsenal, have made their first attempts to sign Dejan Kulusevski. We have made our contact with the agent and with the player. Will we get that one done? We are also going to be diving into that. Arsenal are apparently raising their offer for Dusan Vlahović to 80 million euros. That is according to the reports I'm looking at coming in from Italy. 80 million euros. That is actually going over the top. We're going to be diving into that. We're going to be looking at all those stories. Will Arsenal get Vlahović after raising the offer to 80 million euros? Of course, it has been also confirmed that Ralf Rangnick will not be in charge for Manchester United as they face off Arsenal at the Old Trafford. Could this mean that Arsenal have a chance to beat United hands down? What's the latest on Bukayo Saka as well? Of course, we've had a press conference from my man Mikel Arteta, and he has said the Saka will be assessed ahead of the Manchester United clash to see whether he will be free, whether he will be fit or not. And obviously there he has also spoken about transfers, the January transfer plan. What is Arsenal planning? Is there anything special to come in the January transfer window from Mikel Arteta? All that and more in this video. Smash a like on the video, subscribe. Let's get this one to 200 likes. Yesterday we made it, guys. We went through to 267 likes on yesterday's video. Let's get this one to at least 200 likes. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, because by the end of next year we should be at least at 100,000 subscribers. Let's get the party started. Of course, there is no better place to start the party rather than Sky Sport, who have just confirmed minutes ago that yes, Eddie Nketiah will not be staying at Arsenal Football Club. Now, of course, we know, of course, you heard it from yourself from Sky Sport. They confirmed Mikel Arteta wants Eddie Nketiah to stay. He would love Eddie Nketiah to sign a new contract, and that is what I don't understand really. But of course, the player says he doesn't want to sign a new contract. He doesn't want to stay at Arsenal Football Club. He wants to move on. He wants to go somewhere else. He wants to build a future. He wants to build a career. And look, I've never been so right, or I've never been so wrong about a player. For me, Eddie Nketiah, with all due respect, he deserves the playing time. He deserves to try out a new challenge, deserves another adventure. Arsenal is not the last place he's always going to be. So, of course, Arsenal have been trying right from the summer to give him a new contract, but it has actually failed. Obviously, he's going to sign a new contract. Sorry, he's going to sign a pre-contract with a new club, and that club should be a foreign club. So it could be Gladbach, because we know the interest that's coming in from Borussia Mönchengladbach. It could be Leverkusen. Last summer, they were actually on his case. They were chasing him there. And obviously, if he decides to leave in the summer, it could be West Ham, it could be Crystal Palace, it could be Brighton, it could be any other club, because I don't know what many clubs seen him. They are interested. Many clubs do want to take Eddie Nketiah away from Arsenal, but obviously from Sky Sport, the latest is that he doesn't want to stay. He will not be staying at Arsenal, and of course his decision is not motivated by funds or financial motivations. It is actually motivated by the lack of game time, and he wants to play football. He's not played in the Premier League a single minute this season, and that's the reason as to why he wants to leave. Of course, we saw Eddie Balogun, did I say Balogun? Florian Balogun starting this season against Brentford, and maybe Eddie Nketiah. That is when the bells rang in his ears and in his head that he's no longer welcome, and he's not that big player that's gonna be replacing Eddie. There's gonna be replacing Aubameyang and Lacazette. So Eddie Nketiah, where will he go? That is the big question. But of course, guys, before we proceed, I'm gonna ask you a big question down in the comments below. Let me know, who is your best Arsenal player in the squad at the moment? I would love you guys to answer that question right about now. Go in the comments, tell me, who is your best Arsenal player right now in the squad? But guys, let's move on to Fabrice Muamba, who has actually said that at the moment, Ramsdale is the best goalkeeper in the league, in the Premier League. That is what that is what he said. Obviously, we know Fabrice Muamba, another ex-international, played in the Premier League, played at the top level. He has said that Aaron Ramsdale, at the moment, if he looks around, it is Aaron Ramsdale who is the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Of course, a couple of rival fans will actually disagree. And personally, me, I do not feel like he is on top of the list. I might take David De Gea at the moment. He's really on fire, keeping Manchester United there in games, with all due respect. But of course, among the top two goalkeepers at the moment, Ramsdale, for me, he qualifies. He might be battling it out with the likes of David De Gea at the moment. If you look at goalkeepers on form, Mendy, Ramsdale, and David De Gea, those are the three goalkeepers in absolute total form. So Fabrice Muamba says one of the best goalkeepers, he thinks the best goalkeeper in the league at the moment is the man himself, there, Aaron Ramsdale. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments below. Of course, January transfer comments from Mikel Arteta as well. Let's dive into that, because the manager there has been speaking to the media ahead of the Manchester United game, and of course he spoke about so many things. He spoke about the fact that we are preparing for January. He spoke about the fact that we might not see very, very huge things in January happening, but of course there are plans for the summer, and there are also plans to see whether we can actually get in some good players there in the January transfer window. So on the January transfers, he said we don't expect big things to be happening, but we need to be very alert to see if anything can improve the team. We have to be prepared, because things can happen, injuries can arise in this period of the season, and you have to be prepared, and you also have to be very, very planned. That is according to Mikel Arteta speaking about January transfers. Of course, it is the first day of December. You expect a lot of questions from the media around transfers from today until the end of the 60 days. That is until 61 days until the end of January. And of course, Mikel there coming out and saying that yes, we will see what happens. Maybe not many big things will happen, but obviously we will see what's going to happen with all these things in terms of January. And of course, he also said that we are having discussions every week. We have discussions about what's going to happen in January. What happens in the January transfer window can affect the squad. As you know, we have certain players with uncertainty in the summer. By that, I know he means Nketiah, he means Alexander Lacazette, and a couple of other players like Elneny. And he says in the summer, many players have contracts with a lot of uncertainty. So we have to plan now and wait to see what actually happens there in the summer. I'm not even going to lie, guys. It's always spot on when it comes to transfers. It's always spot on. There is one thing that I cannot blame Mikel Arteta for: transfers. He actually does them well. If you look at the signings that he has actually made, almost all of them are actually doing well, and the club is actually doing well because of the players he signed there for the club. So, of course, he said something very, very controversial there, that we are not going to see big things in the January transfer window. For me, I do not accept that. I feel like Arsenal could go for something big. Probably not a striker like many people expect, but I could see, or we could see, something like a midfielder, maybe Renato Sanchez, maybe Hausemoa, maybe something big in the midfield, because there Thomas Partey is going to be leaving, Mohamed Elneny will leave as well. I don't see how Arsenal get out of January without getting an important midfielder. It could be a number 8, it could be a box-to-box, it could be a progressive player, but I have this feeling, and I'm going to trust my gut, that somehow we will go there and get a midfielder. So of course Mikel has said no, I'm not buying into that. I'm not going to tell you anything at the moment. We only have talks about the summer. We have to plan on the uncertainty of certain players, the likes of Lacazette, the likes of Nketiah, and the likes of Mohamed Elneny, because there is nothing big he can't confirm at the moment. Of course he's not so dumb, he's not a dummy. He cannot just come out and say we're going to sign ABC, we're going to try to do ABC. He will never say that. is always gonna be behind the curtain, because transfers for a club, they're like a PR strategy for surprise. They're like a PR strategy to bring your fans around the club, to bring back your fans. So you have to make them as interesting as they can be. So I don't see how Mikel Arteta can come out and blow the curve and say, we're going to sign ABC, we're going to do this and this. I don't see how he's going to do that. But obviously, his comments are very, very professional, and I do respect them. If you don't sign anyone in January, I will be very surprised. I feel like a midfielder is coming in. It's maybe a striker in the summer, but I just feel like it's going to be a midfielder. It will be a midfielder. Let's wait and see what will happen in January. Now, of course, according to the latest information coming on my desk, of course, from transfers, Gianluca Di Marzio, the first one to speak about transfers and Arsenal. Of course, it is December. And when it is December, you always know what happens. It's always a lot of talk. It's always a lot of confirmation and things like that. Of course, Gianluca Di Marzio there has actually come out and confirmed the fact that Arsenal want Dejan Kulusevski, and he has actually said that Arsenal want him. They had the first contact with his agents. Juve bought him for 35 million euros plus bonuses. So it depends on how much Arsenal want to invest in the player. But I know the first contacts from Arsenal have been made. That is my man there. Of course, the big man, you can look at Di Marzio. I couldn't show you the footage, but obviously he's been speaking directly to Football Daily, and he has confirmed that Dejan Kulusevski is not just a target, is not just one player that is actually going to be targeted by Arsenal. But we have had our contact. We have told the agents that we want the player. We have told the player that we want to sign him. And Juve are more than willing to sell, because according to Gianluca Di Marzio, he was asked, will he go to Arsenal or will he go to Tottenham? Yesterday I did report that, of course, there is a big war between Arsenal and Tottenham on two players from Italy. That is Kulusevski and Vlahović. But of course, it is Gianluca Di Marzio, the king there in Italy. He has just said it's going to be Arsenal. They are the club that actually want him. They are the club that are actually interested in signing him more. They have made their contacts. They have already gone down there and talked to the agents, talked to the player, and now they'll have to meet the asking price of Juve. Juve bought him at 35 million euros. That is a big waste, Juve. That's a big waste to sign a player for 35 million euros. And obviously, don't use him. But of course, we cannot blame Juve after us using 72 million on Nicola Pepe and actually putting him on the bench because he's not good enough. But of course, guys, I don't believe Kulusevski is not good enough. Maybe it's just because he's not fitting there. At Juve, he might not be fitting at Juve and things like that. He's a young player. Mikel Arteta is reportedly a very, very big fan of the young lad, and maybe, you never know, we could have Mikel Arteta transform Dejan Kulusevski into another brilliant forward. Obviously, he's looked at as a big replacement of Nicola Pepe. Pepe doesn't really seem to be enjoying life at Arsenal. He might leave in the summer, but of course, if he doesn't leave, where will he play? That's the big question. Already players like Emile Smith-Rowe, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli have actually gone ahead of him by far in terms of their, what you would call, pecking order. So I don't see how Nicola Pepe actually stays at Arsenal in the summer. Maybe in the January transfer window, as far as I know, he's going to be going out for AFCON. But of course, in the January transfer window, I don't see a move for him actually materialize. It could be in the summer. Yes, Milan want him. Yes, Newcastle want him. Yes, West Ham as well are interested. And a couple of other clubs actually want to take him. Lille could actually want to take him back as well. But maybe that could be in the summer. But Dejan Kulusevski, Di Marzio, the man, has also said that yes, there has been contact. There has been a lot of talk between Arsenal and the big man and the agents of the big man, Dejan Kulusevski. Will we get him come the summer? Me and you, stay tuned, and obviously we will let you know. Make sure you smash a like on the video, guys. Our target is 200 likes, and of course the comment in the commentary section, let me know who is your best Arsenal player in the squad at the moment. Now, guys, moving on, we had our player attacked. That is Gabriel Magalhães. Gabriel was actually attacked, coming from a nightclub. Two robbers, or they were not really armed robbers because they had a basketball bat. I don't know how. They had a bat, and they wanted to take his car. They want to take his, 4,500, pound Mercedes. That is what they wanted. They wanted to take his Mercedes, but actually, what actually happened is that he fought them, he beat them, and they did not take the car, and is also in perfect shape. Mikel Arteta there talking about the player and the situation. He has said that the player actually received a lot of emotional and generous support from the club. All the support that he needed, he got it, and there will not be anything, absolutely anything to be afraid of. He will be fit for the Manchester United game. He will be fit for that big game tomorrow on Thursday when we take on Manchester United at the Old Trafford, one of those dangerous stadiums, but of course one of my favorite games in the league. So of course Gabriel was attacked. Like I said, nothing really happened. They were attacked. They were coming from a nightclub in the evening, just like any youth, they always have that personal life. They go out and have and have one or two beers, one or two drinks. If you're Muslim, if you don't do beer, I'm very sorry. But obviously, they were coming from from getting a couple of drinks, and then they ran into some wallets. But definitely, they actually got away with it. The car was not taken. Nothing was taken. Actually, the boy is in perfect shape, confirmed by Mikel Arteta. And of course, talking about Manchester United and what could happen tomorrow, Ralf Rangnick has been confirmed that he will be actually running around London and running around Manchester, trying to look for his work permit, trying to process his work permit tomorrow. So it's gonna be Carrick on the wheel. It's gonna be Carrick on the touchline as we talk on Manchester United in the first leg of this of that game this season. It's a big boost. It's a very big boost. Obviously, there Mikel Arteta has been a very big fan of beating Manchester United every time we played them under Mikel Arteta. Have we lost a game? I do not remember, unless I'm crazy, but I don't remember losing a game to Manchester United. Of course, the big question there is, will Carrick surprise us just like he surprised Chelsea? That was a big surprise. Chelsea left stunned by the awful tactics of Mikel Arteta, of Michael Carrick, but of course, there Michael Carrick got a point. But of course, for me, guys, I'm going to say I'm very happy. Of course, there is a lot of energy in the Manchester United squad. They have not lost a game in their last two games. I can't believe I'm saying that. Of course, they have not lost a game in their last two games, beating Villarreal and drawing against Chelsea. Obviously, Michael Carrick coming on the touchline against Mikel Arteta, for me, that is something I'm looking forward to as a game. Not as a free hit though, but as a game that we can get 3 points. Because when we get 3 points against Manchester United, that could be the starting point. That could be the big starting point for our December. And that could also be the big starting point for Arsenal as a big club. Because obviously, guys, I'm going to say this. If we beat Manchester United, we will have, we'll have almost 10 points gap, very clear of them, and that could be what we need at the moment. With a couple of games coming in December, we have Everton coming up next after Manchester United. Then, of course, there we shall play Southampton. Very difficult games coming in, and then you have West Ham after that. Those 4 games will determine whether Arsenal is ready for top 4 or not. Because Michael Carrick at the wheel. Let's do this, Gunners. Let's do this. Let's smash Carrick. Let's remind him that his last game as the manager at Manchester United as interim didn't actually go very well. And of course, lastly, guys, it's the big story around Dusan Vlahović. Now, this is a story that's coming in from Italy, and obviously I've looked at it and I've really analyzed the story. It shows that Arsenal have raised their offer to 80 million euros for the Fiorentina man. Now, of course, we want the player. Fiorentina have already agreed to sell to us in January, in the summer, whenever we want, whenever we can raise the money, we can actually go for the player. Of course, the problem there is still with the agents. It's still with the agents. But of course, Arsenal are showing that there is big interest. They're showing that there is maximum interest there in Dusan Vlahović. According to Romano, we want a young player, we want a young striker who's going to develop with others, but also very, very impactful. Someone who's going to have the numbers at a young age, and someone who's going to be consistent in growing as a talent, but also growing consistently, scoring the goals. We are talking about the new Thierry Henry. We are talking about the new big goal scorer at Arsenal. Ever since we had the big man Robin van Persie and Alexis Sanchez, for me, I'm not really satisfied that there is another player there that has actually got to my nerves in terms of scoring big goals. Yes, Aubameyang has done it for almost 2 years, but then he just declined like nothing has ever happened, like something has never happened, really. I don't get it. But obviously that is the big story. The Arsenal are raising their offer to 80 million euros. Will that convince Dusan Vlahović of how serious we are so that he can actually join us in the summer or probably even in January, where Mikel Arteta says they have talked about it, they have made plans, and we will see what happens. As always, come on you guys, 200 likes on this one, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Coming up is Manchester United Arsenal predicted lineup. How should we line up? How can we beat Manchester United? All that in the next show. Make sure you hit a like on the video.